Let's bring in Mercedes Schlapp, a Republican strategist and Fox News contributor, and Richard Fowler, a radio talk show host. Mercedes, good to see both of you.
Good morning.
Should Donald Trump be concerned now that he's tied with Hillary Clinton? Because he should have been, again, all summer long hitting this.
Right. The economy is a natural fit for Donald Trump. Obviously, it's one of the most where he feels very comfortable talking about that policy in particular, especially when he rolled out his tax plan, in general, his economic plan. So I think he should be concerned. I mean, Hillary Clinton, what she's been able to do after the convention is continue to build this narrative about Trump being unfit or dangerous, using those words about his temperament, really without offering any sort of innovative or bold economic solutions herself. So she's standing by the fact that she's going to move forward on what would be maybe incremental changes to an Obama economic plan, which what we have seen is really just a sluggish economic growth where millions of Americans still feel that their wages are stagnant, that they're not getting the opportunities that they're looking for, and as well as an anemic economic growth in our country. So Donald Trump, he's been focused on all these other policies like immigration, for example, where he gave the big immigration speech. His message from now to November is, look, middle class, lower income, we're here to help you. Help is on the way. And I think that would be effective for him if he stayed on the economic message.
Richard, even though that she's really closed the gap on these issues, in terms of the overall polling, these national polls that have been coming out, that Donald Trump has closed the gap on her in a two-way race, 6 percentage point lead for Hillary Clinton, just 2 percentage points if you include the other candidates. What is she doing wrong?
Well, here's the thing. Hillary Clinton's going to focus on the economy. She's going to do that from now until the rest of the election. Labor Day will be the turning point, and when Americans really start to focus on who they're going to vote for. We're 4 weeks away from a major debate, the first of 3 major debates, I believe. So here's what Hillary's going to have to do. She's going to continue to talk about the economy and double down on it. While Donald Trump had a great week in Mexico City, he lost out of this week really pushing an archaic and unpopular immigration plan. So that's going to benefit Hillary Clinton immensely as we move into this Labor Day holiday.
But, Kirsten, the one thing about Hillary Clinton in terms of the economy, you have an economy in terms of the rebound from the downturn in 2008, 2009. It's the weakest rebound since 1949. There's a lot going wrong. The economy barely growing this year. And she's saying, well, I'm just going to do more of what President Obama did to get us to this weak growth.
Right. If you look at the two general philosophies from which Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are coming, one more redistributive, the other more we're going to lower the corporate tax rate, we're going to make it easier for production and innovation and all that. Obviously, a lot of us here think that, well, gosh, a pro-growth tax plan and economic plan is much better. However, most people aren't necessarily looking at that. They're looking at the candidate up on stage. They're looking at them behind the podium. Who do I trust with the economy? And the trust factor is more of a personality and a character question, right? So they're really maybe not even listening to the policy specifics, but more on the temperament. And that's why I agree. Anything Donald Trump can do, from Mercedes' point of view, from now until then, talking about his plan, but showing he has the temperament and the character to handle this economic mess we're in.
He took big steps this past week with that. And then, of course, terrorism is the second concern, the number 2 concern for voters. Donald Trump remains adamant that Mexico will pay for the wall. Here's what Trump said on the O'Reilly Factor last night.
We have to stop the drug trafficking, the human trafficking. You look at what's happening at the border. It's incredible. And the wall will get built. And, in fact, that was sort of acknowledged if you look at the statement. And he disagrees on who's going to pay for the wall, but that's a negotiation, and I will tell you that the United States will not be paying for the wall. Mexico will be paying for the wall.
This comes as Mexico's President Peña Nieto tweeted, repeating what I told you in person, Mr. Trump, Mexico will never pay for a wall. Richard, is it wise for Donald Trump to engage in this back and forth, of course it's on Twitter, about who's going to pay for this?
Absolutely not, Dagan. This is the worst thing that Donald Trump can do. I mean, I like it because he can continue doing it. Because, one, this has been his main campaign, his main spiel for almost 14 months since he's been running for president of the United States, is this whole idea that they're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. This argument is unworkable for the American people. Here's why. For last Republican to win the White House won 40% of Latinos. That was George W. Bush in 2004. Donald Trump is 20 points points down from where George W. Bush was almost 10, 15 years ago. If he doesn't get to 40%, he does not win this election. 60% of Latinos find him to be bigoted or racist. So Donald Trump is working from a deficit here on the largest growing population in the United States, which is why he's going to lose this election.
He's tough on this, though, Mercedes, and I want to move on to Hillary Clinton, but I want to point out, front page of the Wall Street Journal, that Donald Trump, after he found out that President Peña Nieto had tweeted that about what he said about we're not paying for the wall, Donald Trump inserted a line in his speech after that meeting. He intentionally inserted that line. They don't know it yet, but they're going to pay for that wall. So he was taking nothing from the president of Mexico. I want to move on to Hillary Clinton, a daily headline that there's something about Clinton-related emails. The State Department announcing that it will hand over Hillary Clinton's schedule while she served as Secretary of State in mid-October. This is a reversal from a commitment to release the schedules after the election. Mercedes, I want to get your reaction to this because it's related to that work that AP did that the Clinton campaign pushed back on about how many donors to the Clinton Foundation she met with when she was Secretary of State. Well, it comes out in October, I think, but does this hurt her?
I think so. I think that we see the continual distraction of these emails, of the fact that you're seeing this constant access between and this cozy relationship between the State Department and the Clinton Foundation. I think it's important for the American people to remember that it was Hillary Clinton herself that promised. She said she would separate, make sure that she would not have that connection with the Clinton Foundation while she was Secretary of State. Obviously, that promise has been broken. We're seeing it time and time again with how these emails are coming out. And the other thing is that the State Department, as well as Hillary Clinton, I mean, they have been obstacles in terms of any of these investigations. The State Department delaying releases of her schedule, delaying releases of her emails. It had to be when the judges got involved to get that information. That information belongs to the American people. It does not belong to Hillary Clinton.
Richard, time and again, it just looks like abuse of office. Abuse of power. There's a report out that President Clinton, former President Bill Clinton, used taxpayer money to subsidize the Clinton Foundation and support the Hillary's private server. Richard? Here's the thing, Dagan.
Well, whether we like it or not, yes, don't get me wrong, I think we need to move these emails off the table, right? But there is a drip, drip, drip here, but the American people are used to this drip, 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 right? If you look at the Fox News poll that we started this segment with, you find that even though we've seen more revelations about her emails, her numbers have risen on how she's going to deal with the economy. Republicans are making a big mistake by overplaying this email thing. What we need to focus on is kitchen table ideals, kitchen table policies, and how to grow the middle class. If they can't do that and they want to talk about Hillary Clinton's emails the next 60 days, we will win this election pretty simply.